Are you working harder and harder in the gym and yet nothing's happening? How can this be possible? Watch this.
Our next caller is Vicki from New York.
Hi, Vicki. How can we help you?
Hi, guys. I'm well. How are you?
Good, thank you.
You look way more relaxed than I would imagine.
Oh, we're always super relaxed.
Just slouched in our chair.
Thanks for taking my call. I'm at my school. I work in a school, so I look like I'm in a prison, but I'm not.
Okay,
I have just been, I'm kind of a new listener since early last spring I started, and I fell into your program and immediately ordered the Summer Shred bundle and got right to it. It was a lot of volume for me. I'll give you a little background on myself. I've competed before. I think I wrote in my email that I worked with Jeremy Freeman. I figured you guys might recognize his name. He was a world-renowned bodybuilder back in the day.
Yeah, let me look him up. I think I know who that is.
Yeah. He used to tell us he was photographed more than Arnold Schwarzenegger. But anyway, so when I got into weight training, I was a runner prior to that. So when I got into weight training, I was launched into his program, which was called the 42, and it was 6 weeks intense, cardio twice a day for an hour, lifting every morning for 6 weeks, no breaks. Very, very difficult program. So in my mindset became like, that's how you do it, because I didn't have any other other than I went to the gym once in a while, but I was more of a runner than weight training. So from that, I've developed maybe, I don't want to say bad habits. I'm consistent, but I get burned out because it's like an all or nothing thing for me. So I ran through MAPS Aesthetic, and about 4 or 5 weeks in, I did an in-body scan. And I was at 19% body fat, 117 pounds lean muscle. So I was like, okay, I wanted to get down to about 13%, because I think that's a good space for me. I like how I feel. I like how I look at that space. And so I stayed in MAPS Aesthetic, did it for 4 more weeks, and got another in-body. It's exactly the same. No change. So I was like really disheartened, kind of bummed out. My motivation got challenged. So here I sit. I finished the program. I went through it. I didn't go through it at the same pace. It was just like I found that I was exhausted doing that. And then all summer long, I was doing definitely over 10,000 steps a day, probably more to like 15, 20. And other stuff like, yard work and that kind of stuff. But plus the weight training. And I started out with the focus sessions every other day, but then I kind of backed off on those too. So I just don't know where to go from here. I started tracking. I tracked my calories for a few weeks because I don't track. When I did it with Jeremy, he would prescribe my diet and then I would follow what he said. So it was like 5 meals a day, roughly around 1,500 calories, and just 2 cardio sessions a day. It was like I did everything. So I never really had to dive into macros. So I did track my protein this summer, and I was about 140 to 160 grams. And then for calories, I was between 2,200 and 2,500 a day.
Vic,
I'm sorry, what?
No, I already know. I think the guys too probably already know where we go with you. Here's the thing. You traded a terrible program for you for probably the worst program for you of ours. So it's just you kind of hit it on the head already. You knew that the amount of volume that he had you doing intensity was just ridiculous. I would never have you do that. So awful. And then MAPS Aesthetic is our highest volume one of our highest volume programs because it's designed. Okay. It was designed to mimic how I trained as a bodybuilder getting ready for a show.
Yeah,
we would never recommend that to most anybody that's training with us, at least until they're not ready to move to that volume. And where you're currently at, that is not ideal. And so what you're seeing in the in-body scan for you is your body's not wanting to work for you. You're putting all this work in, you're overdoing it, and it's revolting. It's not moving the needle at all. because we don't have the right balance. We need to we need to balance you out more. Now it's great you're hitting the protein intake like you are, but we need to back way off the volume and intensity and be more methodical about this approach. Which the exciting news is that you shouldn't have to work this hard to see even more results.
Yeah, we got to back up though, real quick, Vicki. We got to back up though. You said you feel great at 13%. What does that feel like to you? What is it about it that feels great?
So the pictures I sent in, I don't know if you saw them at all. That was back about 10 years ago. And the first one where I'm like a tiny little bird, I look sickly. I was about 8% body fat for that competition. And then for the next one where I look like I have a little more muscle, I was at about probably 10 or 11.
Okay. But I forget how you look. Why do you say you feel good at 13%? What do you feel like?
I feel light. I feel energetic.
Yeah.
I feel like I sleep better. I don't know.
Yeah,
I just feel better about myself in general.
Yeah, I don't believe you. I think that we're dealing with body image stuff. I don't think you feel better at 13% health-wise. I bet you if we checked your performance, looked at your labs, looked at how your body was responding, inflammatory markers, you're going to be less health. There very rarely is a woman healthier at 13% than she is at 19%.
Can I see the pics, Doug? I can't see her pics.
They don't have them included.
Yeah, so
they don't. Okay.
That's very, very lean.
That's like shredded.
A woman would lose her period. She wouldn't be fertile. Okay. So I think what we're dealing with here is you like the way it looks because there's a bit of a dysfunction or disconnection with the body image. I think your body image is probably...
you can see the muscle too. Like I do like that. I feel a little fluffy at 19.
Yeah, then there's something else going on here, and it's not that you're healthier and more fit.
Yeah, 19 is actually really healthy.
Let me ask you this. Have you dealt with body image issues in the past, eating disorder type stuff in the past?
A gazillion years ago, yes.
Yeah, it's still there.
High school.
Yeah, it's still there, Vicki. So this is not I would recommend you work with somebody to talk about this, because otherwise you're not going to be able to get out of this hole. Right? You're abusing fitness and diet, and you're ignoring the signs that your body's telling you. I bet you there's a lot of signs that are telling you you're overtraining. There's a lot of signs probably telling you you're not doing well when you get that lean, or even maybe now with the amount of workout you're doing, and you're probably ignoring them. The irony is you would feel so much better if you trained a lot less and probably ate more. You would feel so much better, but it's hard for you to connect those dots. Yes,
more for sure. I mean, it's also a huge sign too when somebody leaves at a program. I mean, the program that he had you on is borderline abusive. So, and you left that for the most intense thing that we have. It's like that would be.
But I didn't know that at the time.
That's fair.
I didn't know that was your most intense program. I just ordered it.
Listen, Vicki, I'm telling you this because I'm telling you from personal experience as well. I understand what this feels like, and I've worked with a lot of people like you, but I know what it feels like. And if what I'm saying is if you're dismissing it or you're feeling triggered or whatever, that means there's something there. And I'm telling you, this is very classic screaming to me that there's some body image stuff that's going on, and you're abusing yourself through exercise and diet, and in feeling better at 13%. What I would strongly guess that what you mean is I just like being smaller. It makes me feel more comfortable with myself.
That is true.
Yeah.
But I will say this part I probably left out just to fill in some gaps though. For the since then, from those shows that I don't know if you see the pictures or not, but till now, like I've been totally working on mindset and not an all or nothing kind of approach. Working on my sleep, working on getting my calories way up here. Like I thought that was a lot of calories, 2,500.
I mean, it's not bad, but you're working so much. Here's what I would have you do. MAPS Anabolic, you could do the 3-day week program, and I would have you just walk.
Yep.
That's it.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, MAPS Anabolic, do the 3-day week version. There's 2 or 3 days. You could do the 3-day week version. Do the trigger sessions on the off days. Do no extra workouts except for walking on your own.
I want to put you in the forum too, so we can keep an eye on you. So we're gonna have Doug's gonna give you free access to the forum. We're gonna send you over MAPS Anabolic.
Okay.
Follow MAPS Anabolic to a T. Don't do more than that. Your calories are okay.
How many steps should I do? Or how many? Yeah, am I doing too many steps too?
I mean,
no, not necessarily. Okay,
you're fine.
To get 10 to 15,000, how much focus do you have to put on going to get those 10 to 15,000? Does it almost naturally happen, or is that like hours of you intentionally walking?
Depends on the day, but it's not hours. It's like an hour of walking to get 10, and then anything else during the day just adds up.
Yeah,
So
10,000 a day is fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's
and if that's how
healthy.
you're getting it, that's fine. I don't want you obsessively walking for hours and hours intentionally to try and hit a number. In fact, I wouldn't even really care. If you're taking a nice hour walk plus the MAPS anabolic, I like you there.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's healthy.
That,
It's good.
so with anabolic, I'll build muscle though. That's what I really want to do.
Yes.
yeah.
Oh yeah, you're going
Yeah.
to. Yes.
All right. Okay.
You are, Vicki. You're doing great. I think. I know this is a tough struggle. It's going to feel like you're doing nothing when you do MAPS anabolic. It's going to feel like you're doing so little, and you're going to feel like, oh my God, I'm going to gain all this body fat. Trust the process. I wouldn't weigh myself. I wouldn't test my body fat if I were you. I would just look at how strong I am in the gym. Make that your. If you need to focus your intention somewhere, because you need to have it focused somewhere, which is probably true, I would put it towards strength. How strong can I get? And if you keep getting stronger, you're moving in the right direction.
I did get stronger with aesthetic. That's why I was surprised about the body scan too, because I heard your caller.
Yeah.
For me, it was yesterday, and a woman that said she didn't gain any strength, but what she was doing is the phase 1, she was lifting a certain weight, and then she kept the same weight for the next 2 phases.
That's right.
Yeah.
I kind of did the same thing.
Oh, you got
so
a lot
I
stronger.
know I'm stronger.
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
You're going to respond so well to MAPS anabolic.
And by the way, that's just an example of you reduced the volume and intensity significantly down to MAPS aesthetic.
It was still too much, but it was better than what you were
right.
doing.
And so your body already started to thank you for moving in the right direction. We're going to move you even further in that direction, and you should see it thank you again. So
awesome.
Yeah, no, we're gonna get you there, and then you're gonna be in the forum too. And I want you to keep us updated, okay?
All right. Thank you. How do it's on Facebook?
Yes, it's on Facebook.
We'll send you a link.
Yeah, that's right. Doug's gonna send you a link. You'll have free access, and then anytime you communicate and you want to communicate personally to one of us, just tag one of our names, and then we'll be able to see it. We'll see it.
All right. Perfect.
All right.
Thank you so much for calling.
All right, Vicki.
Thank you.
Bye.
You got it. Was that too harsh?
No, you were. You know what? I wasn't sure until Doug finally pulled the photos up, and it's obvious now. Like,
well, 13%. Like, I feel better at 13.
Yeah,
than I do
the only
19.
reason why. So you know me, I'm cautious with that because I have a wife that is off the.
You just want to see it.
One-
what it looks
yeah,
like.
Yeah, I just want to see it.
Yeah.
I know but it still doesn't mean that that couldn't
That
be an
is
example.
low. I mean, just from a number.
Right. But I mean, you were
alarming,
spot on. And as soon as I saw the photos, I was like, oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, even when she was in the competitive shape, it was just way too lean. Way too lean. So she's
look again. Speaking from personal experience, like I feel better, you know, when I'm, 7% body fat, 215 pounds. But if I'm being honest with myself, I don't.
No, yeah.
What makes me feel better is I feel more comfortable in my skin because the body image stuff-
psychologically, you think you
and
feel
that's what
better,
she
but
means.
physically you don't.
I
feel
actually
better.
don't feel better, and that's
Hell
what she
no.
means. I feel better. No, you like being small. You like the feeling of being small in your clothes.
It's
and
an
that's
aesthetic thing.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I wish we could see exactly what she looks like. She probably looks really healthy and good right now, which is that's the hard part when you have a client like that.
By the way, don't follow program. If a bodybuilder decides to train you as his client, you're probably going to get the most.
Did you hear what the protocol was?
Terrible.
Yeah.
You fucking
Terrible.
kidding me?
What are you doing?
Borderline abuse, dude.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But it's so crazy too. Like, I mean, she didn't know any better than she admitted
It's like
that.
it worked for me.
But always, it's so those
And
clients.
she's probably a hard worker.
Those
so
clients always gravitate towards MAPS
know.
aesthetic
I know.
or PED or something that we have that we always tell people is like, this is like high volume and it might be a lot for.
In fact, the more we say you probably shouldn't do this because it's too much volume, the more we probably
That's
sell.
where they go first.
Half the progress.
100%.
Good news though, I mean, her protein intake is up high.
Yeah.
She's got good activity. Sounds like she can train consistently. I mean, if she.
Her saving grace is that she's not eating too little.
Yeah, exactly.
That's keeping.
That is her
from
saving
really-
grace.
yeah.
The fact that she was at that high of calories made me happy because I'm like, she's not.
At least she's not starving herself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.